Hi, welcome to my channel. I look like 10 miles of bad road. It's about bedtime, so it was perfect time for an impromptu Padrama party. I'll wait till a couple people get here. Oh my gosh, I look so scary. But I got my PJs on, my Costco PJs. These are really cute. They'll probably sell them again this year. I don't know. Maybe they'll sell them online, but I love them. They're so soft and cuddly. Hi, Sammy. Hi. So, what the heck? I had to go live because I watched T by Allie's video on Danielle Cohn, or is it Con? I don't know. Con probably is more apropos. The spelling, that spelling I always thought was Cohn, but the stuff that was in that video, oh my gosh. When I made my video about Danielle's mom, I was really trying to be diplomatic and not lose it, but I'm not going to hold back now. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you. I have to tell you, that woman, I'm trying to say this like Dustin Daly. She's trash. She's trash. I can't believe what I saw in there. Not only was there this great big long letter to her father that looked completely coached. If it wasn't written by the mom, it looked coached. By the way, did this go live? I don't even know. I should share the link. Unbelievable. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I can't even believe. Hi. Here comes the word people. Hi, not another drama channel. Hiya. Lee's box. Bronick. Hi. So I can't even believe I was watching T by Allie's video on Danielle's mom, and I couldn't believe what I saw in there. I couldn't believe it. And keep in mind, if I inhale or exhale the wrong way, Count de Monet will visit. But this girl has endorsements. This YouTube is allowing this. This to me was the thing that really blew my mind. Hi, Shanoa. Hi, Denise. What really blew my mind was that her management company, BMG, I think it is, I'm not sure, had these blurbs about her, about how, how guys should have tissues nearby. What mother wouldn't lose their shite if they saw something like that pertaining to their 13-year-old child? And she wrote this big, long letter to her father saying, I'm glad you weren't there when I was growing up. Well, you haven't grown up yet. So he should still be there. It was very bizarre, very, hi, Jen Gerard. No, that's not Beverly. Beverly should make an appearance, though. Hi, Tisha, Nikki. Hi, PNJ's mom, Disney Magic, Nikki, Kayla, Roxy, Lee's box, hey, everybody. So I had to go live because I'm absolutely flabbergasted at what Danielle's mom has allowed. That T by Allie, I'm going to link it below this, had in her video. She brought some really good receipts. I mean, her title says she's worse than we thought, and it's absolutely true. That's not clickbait. She's way worse. She allows her management company to describe her as something that how do I put this in a clean way? Something you'd hear of from the Bunny Ranch for a 13-year-old child, saying guys should have tissues nearby. And her management company is like, oh, and they have what is it? Her lingerie and all this kind of stuff, and her buttery skin, and just, you have to watch Allie's video because you won't believe it. I mean, trigger warning, you'll get enraged. I was enraged. I was like, okay, now this has gone from she's potentially got an illness or what have you to, I don't care, you're trash. There is no holds barred with that woman. She has absolutely not even considered this image that her daughter has. Before, people maybe could have given her the benefit of the doubt and thought, well, maybe she's not aware that this cutesy stuff isn't so cute. No, she's peddling her. She's flat out peddling that child. She has a room review that she's doing, like about her a room tour from a year ago when she was 12. And she's talking about how the boyfriend's name and her name are over on their sides of the bed. He's got a D and M, and we love a shower. She's showing the bathroom, and it's we. There's a picture of him in the bathroom with her. It is a constant push of that relationship. It is highly inappropriate. And she's coached, in my opinion. That letter, this whole long letter that she wrote to the dad saying, how dare you do this on social media, as she writes this letter, saying you couldn't reach out to me and I'm glad you were never there for me. Like she's talking like I'm glad you weren't there when I was growing up, and she hasn't grown up yet. And her mother should never allow her to spew that kind of hate to her father, who is clearly hurt and wounded about his lack of relationship with the daughter. The reason they don't have a relationship is because the mother alienates the child from the father so that she can have no rules in sexualizing her daughter, in prostituting her daughter, as far as I'm concerned. She is a disgusting, sick individual. She is garbage as a human being and as a mother. Anybody who would put their child up for sale like that is disgusting. Her own child. She's mental. She's absolutely mental. And I no longer am holding back on her. I was trying to be diplomatic. The filth that I saw that she's allowing surrounding her daughter is next level disgusting for me. And I don't know Devil's Doorbell. I don't know how CBS could not step in. I don't know. To me, it crosses a line that I don't think is very gray when it comes to children. Yes, Sheree, you were playing with your Barbies when you were 13. You were imitating certain stuff. Rox, I guess she got here late. I said I don't think she wrote it. I think the mother wrote it, and I think she's been coached. I didn't think for one moment that she wrote it. As soon as I heard it, I'm like, that's not even her. It's this big, long thing about how great her mom is and how much the dad doesn't belong in her life. I wonder, when she's 13 and the mother's still acting like she's grown up, no 13-year-old girl would be like, my mother was both of these things. My mother played both roles. Bull. She can't play both roles. She can only be your mother. So stop saying she's been all things to you. That's the mother talking. That is her contention. That is her trying to alienate this child from her father. I'm sorry if I'm yelling. I'm just really passionate about this. Children are to be protected. And where are the people who are supposed to be protecting this child? What is this disgusting company? Who is this management company that is writing things about this girl in an inappropriate manner? Look at that. What is it? Brindy, that Australian girl. She's like, at 13, she's like got these innocent little shows where she's playing with, crocodiles or whatever. She's growing up in a wholesome way, and it's just absolutely disgusting to see this girl have to stand there in her Daisy Dukes all the time, showing her body off, and just at 13 years old, her mother having absolutely no care for her protecting her child. She is making her the poster child for pedophiles. She absolutely is. When my son was acting in movies and doing television, he didn't know how protected he was. He got some weird fan mail. He was protected, but also there was a website that paid homage to him in an inappropriate way. And I was able to contact the FBI and get that website taken down. I don't know what they did or how they followed up on it, but it's not something you'd want your kid to be the star of. Let's put it that way. And so I've seen creeps up close. There aren't a lot of them, but where there are lambs, there will be wolves. I sat down at a table with a guy who said, I got to tell you guys this story. You won't even believe it. I sat down across from this guy with the Lord of the Rings medallion. And looking at the kids kind of weird, I thought. But anyway, he says to me, I'm a manager, was on a TV set. He says, I'd love to have your son in my stable of boys. I said, did you say stable of boys? I already had a weird feeling about him. So I pick up my tray. Nice meeting you. And I go to the next table. It was like, stay the hell away from me. Stay the way. He got the message. And he smirked too. Innocent people get angry. Remember that. He smirked because he knew I recognized what he was. I was so shaken by that because the kid he was representing that he was on set with seemed like a victim to me. He seemed like a victim. That's okay, Rox. Don't worry about it. Rox is late. Next time, bring a note. He seemed like a victim as a survivor. It was just something I recognized, that he was young. He had no joy. He wasn't grooming himself. This was a boy who had a bright future, and suddenly at a very young age seemed to have no joy. So I called my son's agent and I said, listen, I don't know what to do, but I think this kid's being abused, but I think this man's a creep and I think he's being abused. And she said, we know. We used to represent him. We tried to tell his mother and she fired us. So then I'm at a pool party some months later for another boy, and it turns out that same creepy guy manages him. He shows up at the pool party, and it's a small pool, and all the boys are in the pool, and he shows up, has no interest for the adults. He beelines for the pool with his Lord of the Rings medallion. Hey, kids, and he's just really interested in the kids. And when I tell you creepy, he just gave you that vibe. I knew as a survivor, I knew. And so I'm at the side of the pool. I'm doing a scene from Jaws. Get out of the water. Get out of the water. The little 10-foot pool. And I'm like, get out of the water. My son's like, but I want to swim. You'll swim another day. You're done. So my son gets out, and he's now very, very grateful to me, but he didn't know at the time why he had to get out of the pool. My friend was very angry with me. She said, I know what you're doing. I said, listen, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I have to go with my instincts. I only get one chance to raise this kid without anything bad happening to him. And I just have to go with my instincts. Not accusing anybody, just going with my instincts. She didn't talk to me for a while. I said, if this man is managing your son, all I can ask you is please, 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 if there's the slightest bit of doubt, if you have the slightest bit of trust in my what I'm telling you, never leave him alone with him. Never let him go to an overnight. These places had overnights. I apologize. I will get back to the chat in a second, but I want to finish the story. So I said, never do that. And I don't know if she did. She never apologized to me. But some years later, the boy that I said was abused turned 18. And he recorded this guy and said, you abused me from this year to this year. And he said, well, yes, I did, but that's the business. And he gave it to the police, and the man got arrested, and then he was let go. His name is Marty. You can actually Google this. I won't give you the young man's name, but his name was Marty. He was a manager, and I don't know how, but this happens to be the same guy that Corey Feldman pointed out years prior. What the hell is he still doing in the industry? Most of the time, I have to say, Hollywood is this great place that protects children, but they are not paying attention to things the parents are responsible for. They are making movies. They are making TV. They are not CPS. So although there is a deputy of the state that is on every set, you as a parent have to watch your children. You cannot let your dreams have so much power over you that you let your kid go to a sleepover with somebody you barely know that was like, hey, you were going to be famous or whatever. Don't want the brass ring so much that you lose your true north as a parent. So I am disgusted by people like this woman. And I can tell you, trust and believe, she's not the only one. And these people will blatantly peddle their children. If they think somebody can do something for that kid's career, they'll turn a blind eye to perverts. It's crazy. And it's not a large part of the business. It's a small part of the business. But where there are lambs, there will be wolves, and you have to be watching. And I can't believe that I met that guy. If Corey Feldman, years before my son was ever even in Hollywood, if he was talking about this guy, I never should have met him. His name should have been Mud. He should never have been allowed near a set, much less a child. What the hell are people still doing, hiring him? And I saw all of the red flags without even knowing any of his history. A guy comes up to you and tells you they want your son in their stable of boys. I swear I wanted to reach over the table and choke that guy. I was just disgusted. And so to know that Danielle's mom is part of that is disgusting. Yeah, there's stuff like that. Absolutely. And that's why you don't leave your child alone. You know, I was at an audition for roles with my son, and I always looked, and if there was somebody too young, I got suspicious. What are all these young boys doing at this audition? And it happened at an audition, and it turned out to be something my son booked. And my son was a little bit older. And I said to the casting agent, I said, you look very familiar. I'm crazy good with faces. I can look at somebody's I can look at somebody's 8x10 and be like, oh, that guy was an extra last week. If I saw it, I would recognize somebody from it. I'm very good with it. You can take a Harvard face recognition test online. I scored 100 like that. It's pretty cool. I have the opposite of prosopagnosia or face blindness. I can see faces very well. And in fact, I've had to learn to not say hi to people in the store. If we ran into each other 3 times in a week, I remembered, they didn't. It looks weird. So, stalk word. Anyway, I said to him, you look familiar. Are you an actor? And he went, yes. And I felt ridiculous because I thought, oh man, I'm so socially awkward. He probably thought I was just trying to kiss his butt, like a lot of people try to get to know casting directors and become friends with them. And I found out later, he looked familiar to me because he was on America's Most Wanted. The director called me to make sure and apologize, make sure my kid hadn't been alone. And I said, no, I appreciate you calling me parent to parent. I told him he looked familiar and he stayed away from me. I didn't know why. Now I do. This guy had gotten obsessed with a young kid and dressed like a woman, took him out of school in California. The school gave him the kid. He flew him to New York and they caught him the same day in a hotel with the kid. They took him, they took the kid. He was never supposed to be around children. What's his job? Casting director. How did that happen? How are they not doing background checks? How are people getting away with this? And hopefully people are becoming more aware. And after this, I have to tell you, he set a precedent because all of Hollywood was very freaked out that he was able to change his name, falsify documents, and slip through the cracks because people are busy and they weren't thinking about it. It wasn't on purpose, but it was crazy. And so I had a friend, by the way, who was becoming friends with him and felt really bad. And I told her flat out, I said, I have to tell you, I have no gray area on this. This is one of those things where we can't just agree to have different friends. In any other case, I'd say that's fine, but not with this. I can't associate with anyone who even associates with him. And she's like, oh, no, I'm never going to talk to him again. So that was a relief. I was like, don't talk to me if you forgive him or talk to him or think he's going to work through that. He's sick. Go get rehabilitated away from me somewhere else. I have no gray area about that whatsoever. So to see women like this right in the public eye, prostituting their child in the public eye with these companies, it's up to everybody else to make them the social pariahs that they are. It's up to everybody else to beat them down and say, how dare you? I'm glad the company that was using that girl is getting backlash and Target and everything else. It's disgusting. Yes, you can hire children to play children, not to play something disgusting and titillate the creepiest slime balls. And what's going to be next? It's just going to be a matter of opinion. And these people can come out from under the rocks they crawled out from under. No, back under your rock. Stay the hell away from children. And I am disgusted by this woman, really disgusted that she would allow it. It's basically, I mean, not just this horrible long letter. Even if this girl felt this way, if you were worth your salt as a mother, you wouldn't allow her to write a letter like that. She didn't write it. The mom was speaking through her, saying how great her mom was and what she's been through. And you really kicked her out. And she has been all roles to me. And you have not been a father. All of this stuff. And it's like, yeah, because your mother wouldn't let you. Someday, I hope this kid gets a damn clue. I don't think a lot of kids can be fooled for very long. She's going to grow up and she's going to have a very different view of this brainwashing, hopefully. The mother just alienating her, isolating her, using her for money and saying, you know what? This is how we're going to brand you. Sexy feet. Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm thinking of Tom Hanks, when he did a very funny beauty pageant skit online. If you've ever seen it, it's really funny how these people were, he was getting obsessed with his daughter. But here she is creating this branding, because let's face it, it's branding. Remember how the Olsen twins were branded? They were these cute little wholesome girls, and you could get their you can get the stickers, and you can get the clothes, and you can get everything else. She's branding her daughter, trying to find a niche that nobody has filled so publicly. And the way she's doing it is by any means necessary. Look how sexy she is. Look at how her buttery cream, they've got her, in these positions and posing. It's child abuse. It's criminal. It's criminal. And we can't be silent about this. We cannot be silent about this. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And let's see, it says, I feel so bad for Danielle. Daisy, so do I. It's just awful. The inappropriate poses. Sarah says, I hope one day. Oh, hi, Sarah. The biggest fan. Says, I'm hoping one day she can heal from this. Sexualizing a child is so heartbreaking. Lord knows what's going to happen to her in the future. Absolutely. Oh, no. You can tell it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for her. She's not going to know who she is. She's set up for a whole host of problems statistically. I mean, what's going to happen when she gets older? It's almost like the mother's like, oh, well, start her young. She'll have all of these young years. She's living vicariously. She wants the money. She's alienating her from the dad and then blaming him. And that's what it looks like to me anyway. I don't think there's long no, and it's all in, sorry, I'm so sorry. It's all in T by Allie's video. It's all in her video about the receipts are there for what the kid wrote to the dad and what her management company posts about her. Yeah, the message to girls her age, it's terrible. Oh, it is disgusting. That's what I'm talking about, Megan. That's the video that made me did this. That made me do this one. Seeing the receipts that Allie has, I'm going to link that below, about the letter and how the company promotes her. Beyond belief. It's beyond belief. I'm just so, yeah, no, don't give that creepy mom any views. Nobody should click on that kid's channel. It's criminal. Tracy, go to T by Allie, and you'll see T by Allie, A-L-I, and you will see the video that has what I'm pertaining to. This young girl, 13 years old, in the industry with 1.4 million subscribers. Her mother branding her as a sex kitten. And keep in mind, she's 13 now. This has been going on for at least a couple of years. It's crazy. I did go look at her channel. Yeah. It's crazy that this is allowed to go on. So much goes on that we can't change, that we can't help. I'd like to think that all of us can put enough pressure on YouTube, on these companies, on a Target, anybody else who's going to sexualize this child. I want them to become socially denounced. I want them to become, as taboo as they should be. And they should get all of the backlash for doing that to a child. Wait a minute. Katri just said Spill Sheesh found that her letter was actually written by a college student about her own father, and Danielle just stole it and changed it a bit. No, Danielle's mother. Let's be clear. Danielle's mother. That girl has never been able to do anything by herself. Probably when she goes to the bathroom, that's the only moment she gets to herself, and her mother's talking through the door, telling her to hurry up so they can get pictures or go somewhere. I saw one video with the mom in bed with her and the boyfriend talking about firsts. The video was titled Our First Time. And the mother seemed very off to me. She was very much so thrilled to talk about herself. She was like, I don't know about you, but I get turned off by people who are just so enamored of the camera, so in love with the fame, and just being giddy, positively giddy for the attention. And pretending that her daughter's too much for her to handle. Like, what are you wearing? What are you two doing? This better be PG-13. PG-13, as in parental guidance suggested, if you're 13, like her kid is. I mean, I'm laughing because it's beyond belief. I have to look at that spill sheet. I have to look at that, Brianna. Spill sheesh, everybody. She has the letter and showing it was plagiarized. Who could even be surprised? Who could even be surprised? It sounded familiar too, by the way. Her mother is so willing to make an ass of herself. Not just what she's willing to do for the daughter. She doesn't even care. I mean, she was probably behind that, plagiarizing that letter. So a letter to your father isn't even real. Something that sensitive, saying, how dare you take to social media? That sensitive, that serious, that's something that can't even be real. They have to fabricate it and plagiarize it and actually use somebody else's words about their father towards her father. This woman has tried to erase this little girl's father for as long as anybody can remember. She has tried to cut him out of her life and alienate him. And now she found a way to vilify him using someone else's words. It tells you what a lie it is. Mermaid, yes, Corey Feldman, it is disgusting what happened with him. And the fact that he named this guy and that guy was still in the business. What is up with his parents? And by the way, he was friends with Corey Haim. They were friends when they were younger. Goonies friends, and was it Stand By Me? Was that the one they were in together? Anyway, they've been friends for a long, long time. And Corey Haim came up to us when we were on Fairfax. I try hard to remember LA. My son was getting his hair cut, and out of nowhere, Corey Haim comes up to me and says, I like your son's hair. It reminds me of mine when I did a movie called Lucas. And I said, I saw that, Corey. And I actually have, my son's an actor, and I've told him, I've shown him some of your work. I thought it was really inspiring, and he's such a good little actor. If you remember Murphy's Romance, oh my God, he was so good. And he said, that's great. He had like that big indent, like dimple, but he had the shakes and he looked terrible. And he left in a very nice red sports car with a friend who also looked in bad shape. And I said to my husband, they're going to find him dead. And 10 months later they did. And I would have been very happy to be wrong. And it was almost what we said. I said, like, what, a year? Like, you look at him, he needs help. And actually, they said it was something about some medicine he took. He ironically died in a place where all of the child actors stay. And everybody said it was just because of medicine, etc. But he used to have the same agent too. And I had heard from other people that his mother really cared about booking. And if you ever see anybody who has problems, and obviously some people have problems who've never stepped foot on a stage, that's a guarantee. But often what I've seen is people struggle because their parents place so much emphasis on booking that when they don't book, when they stop booking, which is inevitable if you're a child actor, you grow up and they don't like that. Like my son, when he started to get older, he was so grateful to get more projects. But people were like, get us the kid from Agorium's. And they're like, our agent's like, he's shaving now. Voice changed. He's a grown man. So you always think of it as temporary because you never know what could happen anyway. So this kid really needed to book. And I think that plus the abuse, his mother was, from what I've heard from a few accounts, his mother was not all there. And one of those ones who wanted everything so badly that they put it before their kid. And that's what this woman is doing with this daughter. She thinks the ends justifies the means. When my daughter is rich, she'll thank me and all of this will be worth it. And it's weird because if that letter's plagiarized, I was wondering when it said, my mother knows the early mornings and late nights will pay off. Why do you need early mornings and late nights? Why can't you do this on a normal schedule? Why can't you still be 12 years old and going to school and getting your schoolwork done? Why do you need late nights to do this? What is she, slave driving that kid on top of everything else? You're not supposed to have early mornings and late nights when you're 13. You're only supposed to work so many hours a day. And for every few hours that you work, you have to have an hour of schooling. So what the hell is she talking about? Like, my mother knows this will pay off. Bull. She thinks I'll get this kid rich and we'll all be rich and then we can do whatever we want and we don't have to worry about it and she'll thank me. No, she will not thank you. because you didn't provide for her. You made her provide for you. Hi, Nick. Thank you. Oh, good. Oh, he gave me money for Houston. Just here to deliver your payroll. Oh my gosh. You know what? Just breathing the same air as Jeffrey's employees is going to mean so much to me. I can't wait to be canceled. And is that so that I can go to the Galleria and not eat your food when I'm in Houston? Because I'm going to eat your food. I'll send you a list of what you should have stocked. Don't you be having one of those model kitchens where you have like, a head of lettuce and a diet soda. I expect food. I'm going to want the kibble. I want to mukbang with those guys so bad. Oh my gosh. Did you guys watch as an aside, I'll go back to my rant in a second, but I just want to say I was doubled over dying at Nick and Rich today with Nick putting on the Lady Gaga stuff. And I kind of wanted to like that stuff because it's, it's got Haas in it, but the house row with all the house stuff would have been kind of cute. But the fact that he put the lipstick on and said it looked like jelly. Oh my God, I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so hard. You guys have to watch that. That's on Rich's channel, right? Because I know you had one on your channel and he had one on theirs. So it's just so damn entertaining. I love it. I'll be all by myself cracking up. And, and I know Nick would agree about this girl, that what her mother is doing is disgusting. And Nick also worked in an industry where a lot goes on and there's shenanigans. But to see a 13-year-old child, sexualized that way. I remember back in the day when they put, who remembers when they had Brooke Shields in a movie where she was like a Lolita or something, a baby. It was like Baby, it was called or something, and people were freaking out. I'll be like my mother. My mother used to do that. She would look out all the way down the street. She'd be like, that one got the motorcycle. And then with the daughter, she's out till all hours of the night with somebody. Mom, why are you whispering? Shh, you don't know. I would just be like, there's Nick. Who knows what you could see? I'm going to get demonetized anyway. Might as well have something fun on there. Pretty baby. Thank you. It's Christy. It was like something like that. And people were like, it was like help me out. People thought that Blue Lagoon, they were too young in Blue Lagoon. People were like very protective of children back then. Now it's like, she's how old? What? And how are people not losing their heads? How are companies not immediately saying, look, the mother lied to us and we believed her. We didn't know. I mean, I would be right away straightening that out, apologize and say, no, this was not our intention. We didn't, but this other company was like, this diet soda or something, this is more healthy for other kids. It's absolutely prostitution, Ron. She's prostituting her kid. And these companies, let's say the mom we know is a sick, deranged piece of trash. So let's say she's got to live this way. What about these companies? They don't have to be on board. They deserve to be outed as promoting and enabling her crappy, horrible, unconscionable behavior, peddling her daughter. They shouldn't make a nickel off of what she's trying to do, how she's branding that child so deliberately. And if anybody's just joining us, I'm on a tear because of T by Allie had these really great receipts. She has a video out with a letter, which we're now learning from Spill Sheesh is plagiarized to her father. And she also had receipts from her management company saying guys should have tissues nearby because she's that charming. And that's the cleanest version of that. Uh-oh. Everybody get along. Look at that. Friendships made and broken in the same chat room. I hope you kids can work it out. My mommy gives me nightmares. Big bad troll. It is big, but it's just not that bad. It's very trolly. Where my moderators at? So yeah. It's really, really, really gross. I'm going to remove them. Thank you. Spill Sesh is not sheesh. All right, I like sheesh. I apologize. Spill Sesh. Like a session. Gotcha. I'm a little slow on the uptake. Is that right? Like spill Sesh, like session? Yeah, you made it. Hi, Skyfrost. Thank you. If you're just joining us, we are ranting about Danielle's mom. That's why this is titled Satan Come and Collect Danielle's Mom, because she's a disgusting, vile human being that doesn't really deserve for anybody to go easy on her. You know what? One of the things I was concerned about is that hate towards the mom would be bad for the child. But at this point, I think it could only do her good for people to plant a seed of doubt in her head, maybe. Or hopefully she will go unscathed, but I don't see how it could be much worse. What else is this woman doing? You know, there's a market for that. There's a market for that. And she's trying to tap into it. You know, next thing you know, is this really out of the realm of possibility that she would raffle off or sell to the highest bidder her daughter's flower? I swear it's like the golden triangle of Laos up in here, where they can traffic children. Now it's happening right under people's noses in America. Like, I can't even believe this is going on here. I want to hear how she gets that kid out of the country, if that's ever a thing that comes up. You know, Skyfrost, it's far worse than pageant moms. There are some lovely pageant moms. My friend's daughter was in a movie you probably saw called Little Miss Sunshine. This will lift you guys' spirits. You know the dance at the end of Little Miss Sunshine? I watched that with Abby when Zach and her were filming. We were up in Toronto and we rented out the room. There's like a big theater room and you just book it and you just say, can we have it? And we did. So we watched her favorite movie at the time, which was Devil Wears Prada. Not my favorite movie, but it was her favorite movie. So we watched that and she was all excited because Stanley Tucci was in the movie and was in the movie that she was doing. Plus he was in that movie. So then we watched Little Miss Sunshine and I got like her live commentary and I forget her mom had to go somewhere or something. So it was just us kids, me and the kids. And at the end, we had like a pizza party or something going on. You know, with me, there's always food. And at the end, I did the dance with Olive when they all get up and do the dance before she loses. We did the dance together. And that end piece where they take the trophy and run down the hall with it, that was actually written by Abby. That was her idea. There's oh, thanks, Jake Onse. Thank you. I'm going to need that when I'm eating at the Taco Bell in Houston. So I know that there were different kinds of pageant moms, and there's some, their heart's really in the right place, and it's just supposed to be fun, and they're not, you know, this is crazy what this woman is doing because she's aware of it. It's not an accident. It's not that she can't tell that her daughter is coming across this way and that she's like, it's just fun. Because if you saw what was in T by Allie's video, they have the BMG, her management company, actually describing her that way. Thank you so much, Purple Sneakers, for putting up with my babbling. That's what Purple said to me, Purple Sneakers. I like that name. No, you babble away. I certainly am. Who am I to say anything? I'm talking at everybody. It's like a captive audience, and I really appreciate that. Appreciate your time, and I love everybody's input. Sometimes I have to go back and read it because when I get on a tear, I don't look at the chat, and I'll go back and read it. Allie's amazing. I'm telling you, very little gets past her. If you want to know what's going on in the beauty industry, you can go to her channel. She's got all the tea on that. She knows. Oh yeah, live stream the party. That's funny. 90 Days Trash. One of the people couldn't take their kids out of the country because the dad said no. That's correct. Yeah, you have to have. And somebody told me last time that those are easily falsified, but that is a federal love of offense. So you can't do that. You have to. Oh, thank you. You can't do that. So you have to have a notarized letter from the parent to take a child out of the country. Only 13 years old, and somebody said this has been going on since she was 10. 10. I'm telling you, she's like behind the scenes trying to get people to bid probably on her daughter's flower. That's what it's going to come to next. And it won't be out in the open and it won't be obvious. It'll be like a whole lot of money for her to go to a sleepover. You know, everyone's bringing an end non-disclosure at the door. What happens at Nick's housewarming party stays at Nick's housewarming party until I upload it from my hotel room the next day. No, I'm just kidding. He'll have like some thugs grab my camera. Like I'll have to get one of those old ones because it's much more dramatic when they pull the film out. Just take out the little card. Bitch. Whoa, where are you going with that? It's going to be so much fun. Uh, it's so corrupt and disgusting. It's her child. It's her child. You know what, Christy? They sure talk like it is. She had some kind of a video about a pregnancy scare and like where he sleeps on the bed, where she sleeps on the bed. 13 years old. 13 years old. I had to get permission to talk to a boy on the phone. And even then, it was like, I'm going to expose Nick. No, I won't. But I won't be able to help it if other people somehow get footage that I had nothing to do with. I'll never get invited anywhere again. I would never do that. I can't wait to meet all those people. You know, some of us are still talking behind the scenes, and we're so excited that we're talking about what we're packing. I love Jamie. She and I were talking today about what we're going to eat. I don't think she'll mind. But we're talking about, you know, food and God, my favorite conversation, and just really looking forward to it. And here's the thing. Somebody asked me, when's the last time you took a vacation? And honestly, I never have. I went one time with my family for 2 nights to Pennsylvania in a little cottage for Christmas, and that was fun. And then, but I can't say I've never vacationed because I got to travel a lot with my son. That was a big vacation. I went to London with him and I went to different places. So I won't say I've never had a vacation, you know, getting flown places to do stuff, but a work trip is a little different. This will be my first time after raising 3 boys, because I have 2 stepchildren. This will be my first time going anywhere by myself since 1993. And I've never just gotten on a plane and gone somewhere for a few days to just enjoy myself. And I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. No, he's just going to shop around with the uncut footage of the house. I'll have like my own little private pay-per-view. That is so funny. I'm going to be a wallflower probably. But I you know, I'm really socially awkward, but these are people that make me feel comfortable. So it'll be fun. And I'm looking forward to shopping. And what's Nobu? I don't know Boo what that is. Nobu? Is that like Japanese? Is it Japanese food? I don't know. Sounds good, whatever it is. You're going to vacate with friends. Yes. It's going to be so much fun. Hi. Aloha. Nobu is yummy, says Jen. So Jen's been there. So Jen knows. She knows Nobu. Oh, Nobu, no clue. Sure. I think it sounds like sushi too. I'm going to look it right back and Google it. Got the world at my fingertips online. I can't relate to that. I haven't even had a nap in over 10 years. I can relate. Oh, Christy, you poor thing. Northern Spain. That's funny that you should say that because, Leah, my father had a huge love affair with Spain. He was on the Saratoga 60, which was a big aircraft carrier. He would get my mother pregnant, and he would get paternity leave, go back into the Navy, and he would spend a lot of time in Spain. And I don't know why, but he loved it. He spoke Spanish among several other languages. He could get a working knowledge of a language on the way over to the country. I did not get that gift. That's the other part of the story. I have to work very hard. My husband and my son will tell you I'm lying. I'm not. They think I'm much more fluent, much more of a polyglot than I am. But I love languages. Mary Beth says, my heaven would be hanging out with Carrie, Jen, Rocks. Well, pretty much everyone here right now. Yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Nobu is expensive. Okay, good to know. Got a couple months to squirrel stuff away. Oh, really? You don't even like Asian food and you like it? Wow. It sounds like a place in LA. Like, I feel like, is there a Nobu in LA? So I feel like I went to one of those places. Rock says Spain is awesome. That's because Spain is awesome. I think it would be. Sherry, thank you so much. I guess I said everything I wanted to say. I just really wanted to get that off my chest because I was holding back in the interest of the child. I don't see how it could get much worse. This woman has to be stopped. Somebody needs to say no more and have this girl go to school and just be able to be a young girl. At this point, you could see exactly what the mother would do. She would say, it's devastating how people are keeping her daughter from what she loves to do, because it's all her idea. She would say that people are mean and they're bullying her and they're keeping her from the thing she loves most because she was born to do this. Just the stuff with the husband is disgusting too. I'm very glad you caught me live too. Thank you, these four walls. Thank you so much. In Ohio, fly baby. Yeah, I don't get it. And it was bad enough, the stuff with the boyfriend. But the fact that all of this is the way that it's set up with her management company, the way, we need to dig into that more. Who else do they represent? How else are they representing people with these pictures of this little girl saying guys should have tissues nearby? And that is how, on one of the sites, she's being described that way. I don't know 100%. Go check out Allie's video. I won't say 100% it was from her company, but I think it sounded like it was from the management company and how they were describing her. They definitely had something that said, look at how, how she is, and adorable, and what was it? Oh, and it was just like you could see her kissing her boyfriend. There was this thing that it looked to me like the mom could have written it, like lots of kisses between her and her boyfriend. And the video that I saw about them, it really looked like they were being told to hang all over each other and play that up and kiss each other a lot and just really be physical. And that is so disgusting. Yes, Junebug. Oh, that is nasty. It is so nasty to have that as part of her branding. If you go here, you can see her and her buttery cream skin and lots of kisses with her boyfriend and lingerie and all of this stuff. I mean, she's essentially creating a red light district around her own child. She's horrific. Absolutely horrific. Well, thank you everybody for listening to me kvetch and go on. And I know that you all agree, and it just does my heart good to know that most people would never harm a child, would always protect and be careful with a child. I've heard, by the way, of other people having problems like Bella Thorne, and I coached Bella Thorne supposedly not long before all of those things happened to her. And that makes me sick, because I was alone with that child. I was coaching her. I was nurturing and taking care of a child. And that's what children need, adults they can trust. Certainly, where are they if they can't trust their parents? And I'm not blaming parents who don't see this coming and don't know that there's a problem, or some people who thought Marty was this great guy and they didn't see the red flags that I saw. I know that there are people who would stand between their child and a bear and don't know what's happening. But there are women like this, there are parents like her who know all too well what they're doing. And they are not protecting their child. They are thinking solely and exclusively of themselves. She can't wait for this girl to make her money, to have fame she can enjoy. She's branding her daughter, you're going to be a star. She's like the Gypsy Rose Lee thing. So thank you very much, everybody. It was really fun talking to you. I'm glad we got to talk a little bit about fun stuff too. And I will be back next time. Thank you so much.